Jesse's rage boils over. He discovers that the same lowlifes who murdered his friend Combo aren't just slinging his and Walt's blue meth. They're using Andrea's innocent 11-year-old brother, Tomas, as a hitman and street dealer. His blood runs cold when he realizes that Wendy, a prostitute he frequents, is providing the gang with lunches in exchange for a quick fix, highlighting their insidious operation. Fueled by a burning desire for vengeance, Jesse begins plotting against those responsible for Combo's death. He buys blue meth from the gang, confirming their connection to Gus. Jesse confides in Walt, demanding he create a ricin, a deadly poison, for his revenge plot. While Walt seems disturbed by the gang's exploitation of children, he brushes off Jesse's plan, advising him to let it go. Jesse, however, is resolute. He declares, "I'm doing it, with or without you." Realizing the dangerous path Jesse is headed down, Walt starts taking steps to protect him. Hank, still wrestling with his injuries and low self-esteem, is stubbornly refusing to leave the hospital, despite being cleared by his doctors. Meanwhile, Skylar reveals to Walt that she never filed the divorce papers. Walt proposes moving back in, but Skylar flatly rejects the idea. She pushes Walt to accept her car wash laundering plan, emphasizing the need to legitimize his money. Walt is hesitant, wanting to keep her out of his criminal life so that she has plausible deniability. Despite their ongoing arguments, they reach a compromise, agreeing to have family dinners 4 nights a week in an attempt to project the image of a reconciled couple. Walt will even have his own key to the house. Mike pays Walt an unannounced visit, informing him that he will not follow Saul's plan. He reveals that Gus is unaware of Jesse's intentions, but if Jesse acts on them, Gus will see it as a major problem. Mike then recounts a past experience as a cop, where he chose to spare a habitually abusive husband, only to have the man brutally kill his wife soon after. He tells Walt that he made a mistake by choosing a half measure, and leaves with the ominous warning, "No more half measures." Jesse, determined to carry out his plan, concocts his own poison and intends to lace burgers that Wendy, the prostitute, will deliver to the gang members. But Mike and Victor intervene, thwarting his plan and forcing him into a car. They drive him to a meeting with Gus, Walt, and the dealers he was targeting. Gus orders Jesse to make peace with them, in exchange for their agreement to stop using children in their operation. Jesse is furious, realizing that Walt has betrayed his plan to Gus, but Gus tells him that Walt is his only friend in the room. After a tense and volatile exchange, the dealers agree to stop using children, and Jesse begrudgingly agrees to keep the peace. It's clear that while Jesse has abandoned his revenge plan, his relationship with Walt has been damaged. He refuses to speak to Walt in the car after the meeting, and later ignores his calls. That night, Jesse is devastated by the news of Tomas's murder. He rushes to the scene with Andrea, confirming that the dealers killed Tomas. Now that he was no longer of use to them, now they have agreed to no longer use children. Walt hears about the boy's death on the news and realizes Jesse is going to do something drastic. Jesse parks his car near the gang's territory, watching them, and for the first time since leaving rehab, snorts meth. He reaches under his seat, pulls out a gun, and gets out of the car, walking towards the dealers. As Jesse draws his weapon, the dealers reach for theirs. Just then, Walt finally plows over both dealers with his car. He gets out, leaving one dealer trapped beneath his vehicle, and the other badly injured but reaching for his gun. Walt grabs the gun, shoots the injured dealer in the head, and orders Jesse to run.